Page Reish Nun Dalet. So he was talking about the Malachim and Sevikalamin, and the marshal that is the two types of koiches and nefesh. The koiches gluim shebenefesh. Everything's beseder v'adroga. It's orderly and gradual. Mashenk the koiches anelamim, koiches atzmim, are in a way that they are. That they're not. Each one is its own. In the koiches agluim there's this halkus. Mashenk koiches atzmim, they're all one. So he goes, and then he goes back. He went back and forth in the middle of that. Let's see in the second line of page. Now, we find the concept of scholars, which is not as chalkus, also in the Kechas Agluim. One right to that is that when a person has a headache, you fix it by bloodletting the foot. In other words, that shows that the parts of the body, the koiches are interconnected. Not only that, they're interconnected in such a way that we can see the difference between the top and the bottom. That, like it says, like we learned in another memoriam, that sometimes the roish, the regel is considered a roish. In order to walk, the roish needs the regel. So in his scholars, this is really a side issue. It's not an inherent nature of the koiches. That's something that they evolve. The kelim, every aguf pile in the koiches, they should be in scholars. What's the reason for that? Was fish sheirish akenim gavoyim sheirish. Because the shiur, the kelim are really deeper than the ears, and then the body in a way has a shiur higher than the kelim, than the koiches. So that's like a side thing. He said a deeper understanding why there is this kalus in the Kechas Agluim also. So one explanation, number one, was the a volume of this kalus. Really, the fact that the Kechas Agluim have kalus is really an expression of the result that in Kechas Atzmim, the way the Kechas Agluim and the Kechas Anelamim, they are this kalus. Okay, so this is the. So he just went a little detour to say that that there is actually we're still in the middle of this, but so he says it's true that there is a skal the real skal is in the Kechas. Number one, because of the volume. Number two, because the Kechas Agluim get these skals in the Kechas. Any dime is skals should be nefesh. The scholars, the way that they combine, the combination, the opposite of the division, that we find the Kechas Agluim is not the same as it is in the Kechas the way they are benefesh. The Kechas Agluim al kaponim kol echad poyel pul mechedet. So it's called like behel. In the Kechas Agluim, the poyel, each koyach does his own function. Ayin lira is v'ayz and nishmaya and say and the mayach. The lev and the regel, each one has its own function. Now, of course, it's kalos akbel. There is, in a hidden state, the background, there is a concept of kalos. In Kechas Aklulim, he calls it Kechas Aklulim here, earlier he called it Kechas Atzmim. The way they're in the nefesh, there it's in the state, the kalos mamash, they're totally in a state of total combination of each other. So this level of scholars we don't find in the Kechas Agluim. There is like a certain type of Kechas Agluim, like you said earlier. Number one, kshesh lekevelesh makizan dam. Two, mashir tzarish safe. But it's not as much as it is in the Kechas Ne'elam. The Kechas calls it here the Kechas Atzmim, the Kechas Agluim. These Kechas, these scholars, the unity the interconnectedness is in a much more stark way. You can see with your ears you see, and with your eyes you hear. It's different, and not physical ears and eyes. We're talking about in the nefesh. Nefesh, these kechas are totally interconnected. So all this is a muscle of mamala and sev. There's even every mamala sev. So what does it mean in the nimshal, the mila, and the two ways the Eibush relates to our reality? There are two ways, mamala and sev. The malkalam, and Rabbi Yitzchak would say the dog. The madrega of malkalam is similar to kechas aglui, which means this Yitzchakus, each level, each way of relating to us. Yitzchak is divided, and it's an order, and it's an orderly way, in a gradual way. My Etzah says that Silas, Rabbi Yitzchakus. Etzah says that Silas is an example of Oyam Emal. So what do we see? The foot of the Yitzchakus, there is division, Mobina, Midas. So that's there. You have division there. You have order. You have gradual. All these things in the spheres of Hatzilus. Similar is as each there's spheres each element. The other thing is if you look in each individual element, all the four elements together from the beginning of Hatzilus until the end of Hasiyah. Closed tzir, there is a certain shape with a top and bottom. So that's the lashon. That's the nimshal in l'mayla of kechas agluim. The inyan from mal. Akshen can bring a circle. Akshen ba b'yischan eschalkus. The level of soirev is ein eschalkus. Zeh shekot mitachat zoy soilam that we just read in Parshas Bracha. Mitachat zoy soilam. Is it under the Zohar Selam? Shemakev mitach b'sasir b'shovet. Means from the beginning till the end, from the entire Shtarfus, there's one b'shovet, not like in Mamal. Usually different. The Chachma that Silas and Malchus that Sir. It's all process. It's all order of things. Mashenken in say everything is making one b'shovet. So this difference also is expressed in the different nelamaz. That's from Mamal. Mamal means each one has its own level. That is why it's called. That's why it says that each side has its own chuppah. Chuppah means its own madrega, his own level of gilui. There's the gilui. So he's pointing out a difference in this spiritual state. Every Yid, the biggest side, he does the same mitzvah. The mitzvah is the same. Each one is his own madrega.
So Olam Hazeh is Sovev?
What?
Olam Hazeh is Sovev?
Olam Hazeh is Gilui HaSevev, and Olam Abba is Mamal. Remember, the whole man started the expression, why did we have to Chofet Dakin and Olam Hazeh, not Olam Abba? But that's what this not Olam Abba, it's a little left page. So this is
so the fact that everybody does the same mitzvah is the indication of Sovev. The Sovev is saying there's no madrega, so how is it?
Exactly, that's what he's saying. The equality, that's an expression of the Gilui HaSevev.
It's so the sense we're saying there's no malomata.
Yeah, there's no malomata.
So I don't understand the fact that everybody does the same mitzvah. How is the indication of a sovereign? Why is it? Because everybody does the same mitzvah.
The equality of everybody, that is an expression of Seir. Like that's what he said all along when it came to the Keiches and everything, the Mashal. Comes to Keiches Agluim, it's not equal. Each one is his own place. in Seichas HaNe'elam, in Kachas HaAtzmim, everybody's equal. There's no like you said, everything is equal. Right? That's kind of different in Mamal and Sefer. It's the same thing in the Nimshul in the Mamal and Sefer, and the same thing is in Elam Az and Elam Ab. In Elam Az, at least in that particular situation of mitzvahs, the fact that mitzvahs are equal, that's an expression of the equality is an expression of the Gilui of Sefer.
Thank you.
Okay, so he says, that's what's going to answer the question that he asked in page Rishon Gim. This is why the ability to choose of a good, of a bad, is dafken in Elam in Elam Abba, where everything is orderly, it's a Tov and Ram of Dolim. There's a clear division between good and evil. The concept of choice doesn't exist. They're two separate types of being. Another point, that's what he said earlier in the previous page. That person, because he as a punishment for his averes, he's put in the place of Gehenim. That's what he said in the page. Primarily, he doesn't even have the ability to move out. He's stuck in his position, as they say. In because of the Gilui Sefer, so we don't have that clear separation. Everything is mixed. When number one, you can choose good over bad. Plus, when you're even in your bad place in evil, you can leave it. You can get out. Because in this world, so he describes it, he describes this point better. The godly spark is descends into evil. It's possible that he's going to want to leave. He's going to escape evil. He has the ability because they are connected to each other. The mele, the toif can get into the ra. Lamailo, they're totally separate. Maybe Beridus and Nitis Lakibara, even should sell us Mara, Mahato move the Mara, but Tov Shayal Bara ain't the Tov Tachlis. S is need dos, a Tov move the Mara, that's if that's Mara Tov. So there's a lot of words here, but I think the point he's making here is that the Tov that's higher than the Ra is stuck because it's not the same Tov anymore. That's why you can't get out. Number one, he can choose, and even after he chose the wrong thing, he can get out of it. So first of all, he can leave it, and not only leave it, he can also mahapach all the time. The idea that Elam Az is give us savor is expressed in the fact that we have, first of all, we have the choice. We can choose between bad and good. And number two, even after we fell into bad, the evil, we have the ability to escape it. First, escape, and not only escape, but mahapech. You can turn the line to Tev.
How is this in the Sovav in Lamailo? How is this equality in the? Okay, it's no Rosh Vesov, but so it means there is no madrigas. Therefore you can be mahapech. How is this? How is teshuva is also a quality of a sovel? You know what I'm saying?
Teshuva is teshuva means that everything is that because he's above everything, he can transform one into the other. That's what he says. Tshuva, because it's saving from the madrig of saving, everything is equal, so you can transfer, you have control. In Mala, the way discussing Mala is very orderly. Everything is not equal. Everything has its place. So there's no way of moving from one to the other. Each one has its own limitation, its own definition, and it can just easily flow from one to the other. Save is a place which is everything is equal. The Mela, that gives you the ability to move from one to the other. Okay, now going back to the beginning of the mind. So going back to the beginning of the mind, it spoke about Bocha. The mind started out right because Bocha Basamecha. So Bocha, we explained earlier, Bocha is Meloshin Mizborach or Berova. It means it expands. And he explained earlier why, but it comes from Savior, and so I said, it can break through. It's not limited. Okay, that brings us back to the Gemara that they started the Maimon with. There's a Gemara that Rashi that says, "In a Bacha Sfer V'Davar Sam Min Ha'ayin," the Bacha can only affect, can only control, can only share, means actually dwell in a place which is hidden, which is not counted. But Rashi says that the Kailamonoi, if it's Kailamonoi, if it is counted, it has to be means it has to be closed up. So that's what he says pshat in that Gemara. From this perspective, so the clip is the forces of evil have a highest mitzumtzum. That's how the Shtader is set up. That the clippers, the forces of evil, get some type of highest from Shtashos. So not to prevent it, because I remember it said over there about the thing about the shading something that in order to prevent the forces of evil from touching something that's counted, Dovar Amon is like Shtashos. Everything is counted. Everything is in order to prevent that from giving too much highest to the clippers. They have to it has to be closed down. It has to be bound in a package. It has to be stamped up. In Sinai says more in a beetle. Not to prevent the forces of evil to get extra in Nika, you have to close it down. Closing down means the constant beetle. It says in Chassidus, what is this? Lochas Hashem, Lochas Achrein, Lochas Harishayna, it's a Barach, Lochas B'Maynor. Lochas Harishayna, the Gemara says that what it is, the Lochas Harishayna is Niknu Barach, Lochas Achrein is Niknu B'Chashai. So because it was Barach, it means everything was in the open, there was no, just the opposite of beetle, that's why Shel B'Maynor, that's why they broke. Lochas Achrein say, but Tisha, Veheim, the Afghan is Kaim. It's interesting. The Bachashai, maybe it's a mistake. Typo, maybe I should say Bachashai. We can Tisha there. I took a truth, it was Tisha. That in Barash Bachashai, that's clear. That's Bachashai. In Barash Bachashai, what is in Barash Bachashai? The Chassadim HaMechus and Chassadim HaMegulim. That it means open, revealed Chassadim and hidden Chassadim. Chassadim HaMegulim, which is Rash, Efshal Mekabenikish, then the Yachbet, it brings a pasuk to prove the point that from Chassadim HaMegulim, from something that's in the open, it can be a unique. The pasuk in Mishle, that's a lashon in pasuk in Mishle. The way Chassidus explains it is seal in this context means the koiches of evil. What does it get? Is galus, not tun. What's this galus? Gedol. This galus. I mean, it's not shiur shel sapnes hamakim, a bit like this meichel. So we made in order to prevent. So this galus libe, when the person's feelings are too strong, that can create a unique for the sign. Mele. So shiur shel sapnes hamakim, a bit like this meichel. In order to prevent that, we need to feel the meichel, which is the market of the mitzvah. וזהו עניין צייר בחויסמוב שבחינס ביטל. צייר בחויסמוב means that it's bound in its stems, which means the bittl. Going back, that we said, Gemara said over the in Mitzia or Bochus, Mitzia, what the other Gemara, two Gemara. So second. See and tiny. Yeah. So it says, not to prevent the in order to prevent the unique, there has to be the beat. Schenken davar samen ayin. Schenken davar samen ayin. Samen means it's hidden, it's not counted. So I feel even if it's not.
I'm sorry, his galus. I mean, that's considered davar amoni.
Yeah, it's the same concept. Exactly. It's the same concept. His galus liebe means rash, which is megulim. Everything with galus, which is like the kachas aglulim. It's concept of memalek alam. Yeah, he's jumping from one description to the other, but it's the same concept. So this is the difference between anything that's within ishtashalus. That's what he said earlier, that if it's right, it stays in right. You have a unique shank, and the mile of ishtashalus there, you don't need less l'reshus. So then the klippers don't have unique. So it's finishing the mimer. שזה בדבר שמה מן העין. says only בסמך is the בעצר, שמה מן העין. העין ודאי ישלם זה לשעה, שזה עניין הברוך, מה שמסבורך ורוב מאילוב. The ברוך also means, like you said, that it's an abundance, שופנס בלי גבול, אבל זה נאמר יצא בבית חסר ברוך ושמח. When it came to the answering the details, it's very bekitzer. Okay, so basically, in this mimer he described again this concept of Mamal and Sevev, and first he spoke about Bina and Chachma, that the to the Gilui of Sevev and Dakin Elamaz, that's where you get the Bach. Let's go back beginning, start again. Page Rishmel Tes. Zavay Tavacha Basamecha. That's the pasuk in Pashat Kisarei. In the Vasamecha Perish B'Sefer HaShorashim Shalosh Eitzris. The word awesome really in the simple meaning, awesome is like, I don't know the English word for it. It's the place where all the Tvua sits. There's a name, a word for it. But Sefer HaShorashim, like I said, there's Sefer HaShorashim by Rabbi Yoina ibn Janach, was the early Medagdakim before Rashi, the Radak. I'm not sure which one he means here. So he says, Asamach means Eitzres, treasure. Hein he said the Targum. Unkelus Beitzarech. Targum Unkelus, and this pasuk. And this pasuk in here in Parshas Kisov, it says, Asamach means Beitzarech. That the Eibush will give you bracha in the Eitzer, in the treasure. The way the pasuk is written here, we looked it up, and it's like mistaken a little bit. It's a pasuk in Mishnah. V'imale asamecha asovo. There's the lashon. V'imale asamecha asovo. That you'll fill your awesome with sovo, which should be satisfied. So others how does the Targum translate it? It's not Targum Unkelus in Mishle. So what does it translate? Yimalon Etzriseinu. Again, I don't know, Etzriseinu. It must be. I'll look it up. Sivin.
As-samech or silos?
Oh, silo. Okay, good one. Okay.
Who's that? Who's that Targum? If it
Yeah, the Targum of Mishle, it's one we don't know. We usually say the Targum of Tanakh is Uncles Yanis Menazil, but it says already in the book that it's miyuchas. Not sure if it's actually Yanis Menazil. So it's every normal Tanakh is the Targum, but who it is in Tanakh, there's a suffix. Who it is exactly? But the Gemara says that the Yanis Menazil translated Nevi'im. So first of all, some people say that the one we have is not the Yanis Menazil. Number two, I'm not sure it applies to Ksuvim also, only to Nevi'im. And we're talking about Mishlas. It's like a usually we assume that it's Yanis Menazil, but I'm not sure it's true. It's not a game. Chaim Pirish b'Metzudes. So the Metzudes also over there in Mishle also says Hasmeina Eisel Shel Torah. Okay, very good. Silence is the right word, but it's like treasures. Okay, so we have one explanation of the pasuk. It's how Hashem Tabach HaSamech. The Eibishter will fill your Eitzos with brachos. Silence. Okay. In Loving said that now he's going to bring a few Gemaras that also bring this pasuk. Two Gemaras. Now, in this Gemara, tiny is ein abacha mitzoil, but dova some minai. The bracha is only in a hidden, something that's hidden. Shenemar, pasuk to prove it. Our pasuk itself, is a bracha ba'asamech. The words the bracha dafka ba'asamech. So Rashi says in Gemara over there in Tainis, Shaschum Eina Yodua. Samecha means if it's not known, like when we have a silo full of wheat, we don't know exactly how much we have. Then there is a buff. Then it will be abundant. Tesis fakes the question over there, and Rashi's pshat from another Gemara. Gemara Chulin, she's a shom fakert, shebedova shetzayir v'chosim v'chayil u'monir les lo rishus. Gemara says fakert in Chulin. But over there it's talking about the shadim. The shadim have a right, cannot come to a place. Tzayim is Meloshin. It's an Aramaic word for kosher. Kosher means it's like we see now. You take a sack of wheat and you bind it. You kosher it on top. And it's stamped. The important part is limon. If it's counted, that's what the Gemara says. If it's counted, they don't have the shadim don't have access to it. So it's like a steer from the Gemara and the Gemara in Tainis. Tainis it says it does. It's not. Rashi says Eina Yedua. In the Gemara in Chulin says that only if it's counted, then Eina Rishut. But if it's not counted, yes, no Rishut. Tir Shemin Tutz. And Tainis says two answers, but over here he's talking about the second answer. Tir Tzabei, but the maskana is in Tirza base of Teisfus. The Dova Mono, it's a Zakat B'Chaisva. In other words, if it's counted, then you have to tie it. Maybe the word is tied. It has to be tied. Like I said, like a sack of wheat, and you tie it on top. So the Teisfus says
Hasim also means sealed. No,
what?
Hasim also means sealed.
Yes, sealed. That's a stamp. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. Sealed. Stamped. Sealed. Yeah, sealed. But tied and sealed. Okay, that's part of the translation. Tied and sealed. So Tesis says that Bedova Mono, if it's counted, if you know how much there is, so there's Dafka Tzimchot, so it has to be, like you said, tied and sealed. Again, say repeat. If something is somewhere, it means we don't know the count. It's hidden. That we don't need to seal it and tie it. So I'm only definitely still because of other emotions. If it's something you know the number, then in order to prevent the clippers from the shading over there, from having access to it, must be tied. Okay, so that's so that's an interesting point. ועניינו, הנה בגמור, מים הזה, זה הנה ואחת מצויה בדור עשה מן העין, יש גם כן גמור במציע. So just like it is, but there's a two base, I don't know, the bibber. במציע, okay. במציע also says that Chazal, but Rashi says, adds something that we don't have, that Rashi doesn't say in Titus. יש Hashem על זה שמזבוח ורוב המייל. What is bracha shiur? What's the definition of bracha? So you find in the Rashi in Metzia adds another twist to what mizbach means. Shemizbach v'rov ha'me'elu. Not just that it has a blessing, that it grows. That's pshat. Ma'ashem is she'es beis minei bracha. So from this Rashi, from it's mashma, the two levels of bracha. This the stam bracha, the mizbach v'rov ha'me'elu. So the first part of the Maimer, the last until he's going to describe what is this unique type of bracha. The two types of bracha. So he's going to say the two types. That's the point. In the bracha you do a b'chlal, bracha is a low level. Bracha you do a shazera kamshacham shoshem b'kayim. Usually with bracha, which is like a blessing, but bracha is a low level of hamshacham b'mayla. But it's shoshem b'kayim. You only reach the source. Let's say you have something, so you have it. It exists in the source. In order to get it, you need a bracha. Shezeo shekosu again. It's not the pshat that something you don't have, and they give you a bracha that you should have. Rak. The only thing the bracha does, the only function of the bracha is to take something that's dear in its source, and it draws it from its source. You should get it. So the proof to that is from the story of Yaakov. Number one, it says over there when they get to the Shvatim. What does it mean? He blessed them with his blessing. Says Pshat, that whatever you have in the shiur is what the blessing that you have that exists already in your source and root, that that is drawn to them. That explains also the story in the beginning of Parshas Vaychi. But to be Yaakov, Yadati, Bnei Yadati, Gamoy Elohim, V'Ulam Bochum, Agot Niknu. The L'chaira, Lama Leberach is Menashe Shuvi Agot. Okay, that's a famous question. It says that Yaakov sickles Yodav, you bench the fine, but Yadimi more than Menashe. So Yaisa tells them, but he's the b'chor. Yes, tells him give the b'chor, those more the Menashe. So what is Yaakov answer? I know he's the oldest one, but Ephraim will be greater. So the famous question is: so what if you know you have the power to bless him? You can bless him. He should be bigger. What's the answer? He says, since we just explained it, bracha means you don't create anything new. You just take something that's there in a hidden state and draw it. It should be in a real state. Mele, he doesn't have control. He doesn't have control to take him down, to give him more than what he has. That's what that's also explained always different. Fila and bracha. Fila means he wants it. Bracha means borti. What's the difference? But filo lam shalatzon chadash. L'shan is to say you create something new. You change the system. Bracha means only Whatever you have, Imam. Okay, we'll finish it today. I'm sorry I was late today, but okay, we'll continue tomorrow.
Thank you.